Oh, yeah.
And Lundgren, yeah.
Yeah.
And he came to the door, and I said, "You have a cousin named Beatrice Anderson?" And he says, "Yes." And I said, "Well, I'm her daughter."
That must have been flabbergasting,
yes,
huh?
he was, but he was.
Had you been in contact with him at all?
No, not at all. No.
Gee
So
whiz.
it was a real, it was a shock to both of us, I guess. But anyway, so I did see him. So when I came back, I told my mother I did what you asked me to do. I went to see him.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Now I missed the connection there between your mother's. Okay, how was your mother connected with the Lundbergs?
They were. She called them her cousins.
Yeah.
Lundgren, I think it was. Yeah.
Lundgren. Because it must have been her mother then.
Must have been. It was on her mother's side somewhere along the way, and I don't know exactly how. But they came from Sweden to Michigan, and when they came to New Sweden, they came from Menominee, Michigan. That's where they were when they came to New Sweden.
Yeah. Has anybody in your family done a full genealogy?
No. And I have wanted to. In fact, I have. I have some. One of my granddaughters went to Sweden on a tour with. Well, in fact, they spent 3 months over there. 3 girls together. They hiked across Europe.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. And she brought me back materials to, so I could, apply for information. I just haven't gotten around to it.
Yeah.
And now with Carl and everything, I don't know if I ever will.
Yeah. Well.
I'd like to.
Yeah. And of course, a lot of that information you can get here too. But well, especially through the Mormons, but also through the Swinson Immigration Center at Augustana College.
Oh yes, well, Augustana College. Carl went to Augustana Seminary, and I was with him out there.
Oh, were you? Yeah.
Yeah. Oh. And we have one little granddaughter right here.
Oh.
She is a doctor of law and
she's a pretty girl too.
Bar in New York and New Jersey and Washington D.C.
See,
she's just
how about
26
that?
years old.
Now, whose daughter?
One of our twins, Joy.
That's Joy's daughter?
Joy's daughter, yeah.
Oh, yeah. Gee.
She's done well.
I guess. Is she the one that hiked across Sweden, too?
No, that was Kristen. Judy's oldest girl.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
And she's a teacher, and she teaches what they call exceptional children.
Oh, yeah, sure.
Yeah. 7th and 8th graders.
The last weekend we just had up in New Sweden over the weekend, Ulf Weiboom, who's the top Swedish expert on immigration, at the Immigrant Institute in Växjö, Sweden. So he was up there for the weekend, and, visiting people and gave us a nice talk. And then we've been in touch with the Swinson Center at Augustana and so forth. So we're becoming pretty well recognized up there too.
That's wonderful. Well, I get the magazine,
Sweden in America.
Yeah,
good.
And I subscribe to that, so I get it all the time, and I'm always looking to see if there's anything from Sweden.
There's supposed to be some things coming up in the spring issue now on Midsummer in Sweden.
Now, what was the name of the Swedish ambassador?
Wachtmeister.
Yeah, and the Countess.
Yeah.
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 Well, we met them here in Waltham.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, when they were here for the.
I don't know what they were.
Was the king here at the same time?
I don't remember what they were here for, but we were invited to this big banquet that they had for them.
Yeah.
And we sat at the same table with them, so it was kind of interesting.
Oh yeah, I'll bet.
Yeah. The only reason I remember she was a countess was because Carl kept calling her countess, so I said,
"Oh yeah,
are you sure that's what?" "Oh yes, she's a countess." So.
And she's an artist too.
Yeah, I guess so.
Famous artist. Yeah. And they were up to New Sweden, but I can't remember what celebration that was either.
No.
I don't think it was the centennial, but what do you remember about the? Now, this is something to ask you. You were there for the 90th anniversary, and for the centennial.
Yeah.
Now, which pageant did you write? Did you write the 90th pageant?
The 90th, yeah.
And the 100th also?
No.
Who did the 100th?
I don't know who did that.
And I don't know how, to what extent the 100th was based on the 90th either and so forth, but
Well,
I remember you did.
they asked me for the pageant, but I was advised not to give it to them.
What, for the 90th pageant?
Yeah.
To do the 100th, you mean?
Yeah, they wanted to use it for the 100th.
Oh, I see.
And I was legally advised not to give it to them.
Oh.
Because it was an original piece.
Yeah.
And, I don't exactly understand why, but so I wrote and told them that I was sorry, but I was unable to give it to them.
Well, I'm not sure which one. I suppose it's the 100th we have now. Because see, now they're trying to adapt whatever it is they have to the 125th.
Sure.
And the copy we have doesn't say on it anywhere who wrote it that I can see. Do you remember seeing anything?
Well, I called mine Mina Barney Scoobin. That's what I called it.
Yeah.
But anyway.
Yeah, now, what's his name? Oh, gee, that reminds me. Minton.
Mention Zach?
Yeah, Arnie Minton.
Arnie, oh yeah.
You remember him?
Yes.
Now, he had written a publication with the same name, Mina Barney Skogen.
Oh yeah,
kind of a history of New Sweden. And he sent it off to New York, to one of these publishers that said they'd publish things. And they never published it, and he never got it back.
Oh.
And years later, his wife, this is after Arnie died, I guess, inquired about it. And they says, oh, well, if we don't publish them, we just put them out on the table, and anyone that wants it can have it.
Oh, for goodness sake.
But
he didn't copyright it then.
Well, not specifically, because the copyright law now is a little different. As soon as you write it, they say it's copyrighted.
Yeah.
You don't have to do anything. But, to nail it down, I guess you send it to the Library of Congress.
But you still have to apply for a copyright.
Well, tell me you don't. That's what the copyright law was changed recently.
That's what I was told. It was changed recently.
Yeah,
Well,
and so now they say, as soon as you do it, it's automatically copyrighted.
Oh, yeah.
But of course, you have to have some kind of
you have to have it published,
proof
I'm
that,
sure. Yeah.
That that it was done and when it was done.
Yeah.
But anyway.
Well.
So, but I can't even think of her name. You know Arnie's wife, probably.
No, I never really got to know them. I knew him because he was at home in New Sweden with his folks, but I never really knew him.
So anyway, she gave us quite a bit of, whatever she had, manuscripts and so forth that Arnie had done. But he never did get that manuscript back from the publisher, and he'd done a lot of work on it, I'm sure. But, we were reminded of that. We were up to New Denmark here, matter of fact, Easter Sunday afternoon. And I remember, well, Arnie's wife, of course I never went with on those trips over to New Denmark, but I'm sure you did, and Arnie was kind of a leader of that.
Well, Ivor
young
was
people.
Ivor
more
was
so.
more of a leader than Arnie was.
Yeah. But they used to go over there quite often, didn't they?
Oh yeah.
Exchange
when we were,
visits.
well, even when Carl was up there as a student, we were going over there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's what I thought. Well, there's still some visitation going on, but not as much as there was back then, I think.
No, sure.
Now, you never really published your pageant?
No, I
anything?
sent for an application blank for copyright, but I never did send it in.
Yeah.
So that's why the lawyer told me, well, don't give it out, because if you ever want to copyright it, then you can't if somebody else has that. So.
Well, I think, I suppose that's a legal opinion, but I think you still could, as long as it was used with your permission. You could not be used without your permission, only with your permission. But
I don't even know where it is right now.
Do you think you'll ever do anything with it?
Well, I don't know. I have a lot of things, I have a lot of writings that I would like to publish.
Yeah.
But,
well, I'll tell you.
I've been so busy
interested,
over the last few years that I haven't had time to even think about that.
If you're interested, we're going to try to do some publication probably after this summer, after 95. Because we have a grant from the Maine Humanities Council to help run the celebration this year. And then they've encouraged us to apply for another grant to publish you know, kind of everything that comes out of this anniversary celebration, well, or anything else that we can find that has to do with the history of New Sweden. So that might be an opportunity to publish some of that material, you know?
Yeah, I'll see what happens here. I have to sort of...
But that'll be probably, well, it'll be next fall at least, but they've told us that we probably can have another grant to do that, which would be nice, and that'll pay for all the publishing, actually, of it. And like when Weiboom was there last weekend, we recorded his talk, and last February we had Professor Goda from UMPI give a lecture on the conditions that led up to the Swedish settlement. And then Nils William Olsen is coming later on, and we're trying to get somebody from the Swenson Center. Well, I know you've got a lot of things lined up for this celebration, and I would let Lorraine wants me to come in the worst way, but it depends on what happens. Oh, sure. Yeah.
I can't really
you can't
make any plans much.
Day by day, huh?
What's that?
Go day by day.
Practically hour by hour.
Yeah.
But today he was, well, about the same, but he is failing all the time. We can see it, you know, although I don't think he's terminal right at the moment, but you never can tell. The thing of it is that with all his problems, he's got so many problems that it's not just one thing, you know, it's just all kinds of them.
Yeah, it's tough.
But anyway.
It's tough on you too, I know.
It hasn't been easy, and it's going to get worse before it gets better.
Yeah.
But
and you've had some health problems too. I don't know too much of the details about them, but
well,
I hope those are...
Yes, I haven't had a recurrence, and they thought it was my heart, but if it was, I got help so quickly. It was only I was only sick about 20 minutes before I ended up in the emergency room.
Oh, really? So they probably caught it.
So they caught it before it did any damage or anything happened.
Oh, yeah.
So, and I'm under a cardiologist. I mean, I see him twice a year, but so far nothing has happened.
There's no real extensive damage to the heart then?
Nothing at all. They couldn't find anything.
Well, boy, isn't that good?
Yeah, so that was good. But see, I woke up about 10 minutes of 7, and 5 minutes past 7, I told Carl, call 911, because I've got to have help. And they were here within 5 minutes, and then were down to the hospital.
Gee whiz.
And that was the hospital that I went to is now closed for this type of care, but it was then operating. And it didn't take, I don't know if it took more than 3 or 4 minutes to get down there.
Gee.
And when we got there, they were all, the emergency crew was all there, and bing bang, that was it. So I still think that it could very well have been because they told me that I had all the classic symptoms of a heart attack. But I got there so quick that I just, you know, it just...
Wow, gee, that's fortunate.
So it was lucky. I told Lorraine, she said, well, you're lucky you're in a place where you could get help that quickly, because if you had been up here,
in New Sweden, you wouldn't be there in 5 minutes.
No. She said you'd have been waiting for the ambulance till it was free to come.
Gee.
So that makes a difference, but anyway.
Well, we're not going to take up any more of your time, but nice talking to you, and I appreciate it. But
you know, I asked you once to bring something up to Lorraine, and well, it was a painting that I had done. It's in her house.
Oh, it is now?
Yeah.
Somebody got it up there?
Yeah. In fact, the family got it up there themselves. So anyway.
Oh, that's good.
Yeah. I have done 2 of them. My son has the other one.
Oh, yeah.
But Carl named it The Hills of Home. And if you see it at Lorraine's house, I'm sure you'll recognize it right away.
Yeah. That's nice.
Because I am still taking, those 2 up there are mine.
Oh, are they? Oh, very good. Do you suppose we might be able to exhibit that this summer with your permission and Lorraine's permission?
Well, if she will allow it,
Yeah, because, you know, we're going to have exhibits of all kinds and so forth.
Well, I sure would hate to have her lose it, because I'm not going to do another one.
Oh, gee.
It's an old painting. Yeah, that's an old one. That came from England. It's an original by I think his name is Holt.
Oh, yeah.
Oh.
But these two on the wall here you've done also. Now,
Yeah. And I have some more out here if you'd like to see them. This one is the Jenny Farm up in Vermont. And this is the, that's out in Washington State. Because Carl has his sister out there. We were out there visiting.
Oh, I see.
And they took us out to this little picnic place. And that's,
Have you done the cover?
Oh, yeah.
I just finished that
Henry
one.
Ford's. Henry Ford's place.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Very good. So you're still actively painting then?
Yes, I'm still taking lessons.
Uh-huh. Good. That house in the calendar, the year before last, you know, with the, when we had all the log buildings in there.
Yeah.
So did you do this from, you were right there, or did you do it from a photograph?
No, I did it from a photograph I had taken.
Oh, yeah.